What's up guys, it's your boy Rich here, and let's talk about a luxury Japanese watchmaker who isn't as well known as Grand Seiko, but is no less inferior. And we're talking about Masahiro Kikuno. So when it comes to luxury watches, Switzerland is where it's at. I mean, quantity-wise, no other country can even come close to the amount of brands representing Switzerland as luxury watches. Yes, there are a few countries that have some really good representations for high-end watches, notably Germany and more recently the UK. But when it comes to Japan, not so much. Even though some of our most beloved and trusted watches come from Japan, whether they are Seikos or Citizens or Casios. And in fact, we trust our lives to a lot of the G-Shocks. Yet these are brands that are not viewed as high-end watches. So thank goodness for Grand Seiko. And regardless of our thoughts on them, whether or not we love them and appreciate them, or simply view them as a glorified Seiko, and I am in the first camp because I adore my Grand Seiko. They are at least viewed as a high-end watch coming out of Japan, especially with their new increased prices. And if we look further, we'll come across Credor, another Seiko-owned watch, and most of the Credors are more expensive than a lot of the Grand Seikos. But is that it? Does a luxury brand end with Seiko? Not unless we've heard of Masahiro Kikuno. So who is Masahiro Kikuno? He was, at the age of 29, the youngest and first Japanese watchmaker to be allowed to be a member of the Academy of Horology for Independent Creators. And he burst onto the scene in 2011 in Baselworld by introducing us to three models: the Japanese hour style temporal watch, the Western style temporal hour watch, and the perpetual calendar tourbillon. And the tourbillon was his first watch that was made fully in Japan and handmade. And when I say handmade, I mean handmade. He did not use a CNC machinery during any stage of the watchmaking process. And all of his watches are handmade, and they take months to produce because they are made to order. Masahiro would later make this stunning tourbillon in solid 18 karat gold, and it's 43 millimeters, which isn't a problem because we can see how short the lugs are. And he uses what is called the herringbone technique. So here's a video from his website to show a little bit about how he achieved that look. And the cost of that tourbillon is roughly $86,000. He also makes a 38 millimeter Sakabu, and that goes for about $46,000 or $43,000. Yes, his watches are expensive, but they are also handmade and really rare. And the entire process is really exceptional. If we get a chance, I would recommend checking out his website on the process that he goes through for making every single one of his watches, because it is impressive. I am trying to get one of his watches to show you, and I have been in communications with Masahiro, but as I said, it's going to be challenging because his watches are made to order. But in the meantime, Masahiro Kikuno is definitely worthwhile to showcase and introduce him to everyone because his watches are just so stunning and gorgeous, and a great representation for a high-end watch coming out of Japan. So the question of the day is, if a watch is super rare, does that make it more prestigious versus a watch that some of us have heard of? In the case of Masahiro Kikuno, most of us will not have heard of the watch until now. For me, I don't mind explaining the watch's origins. I actually like that because if I'm proud about a watch, I enjoy talking about it. I don't, not randomly to somebody, hey, look at my watch. But if someone asks me, or if it's in a conversation around other watch enthusiasts, I enjoy talking about a watch that I'm proud of. But again, I'm not sure if that makes it more prestigious, or if it's more prestigious if at least someone has heard of that watch. Let me know what you think. And thanks for joining me. I'll see you the next time. So who is Masahiro Tanaka? So who is Masahiro Kikuno? So at age 29, he was the youngest to... Or is that it? Does it end with Seiko? Does it end...